Good morning. I'm higher vibrations and so are you. There's been a lot happening over the past few weeks and it's just been a difficult thing to create a video, and I apologize for my absence. Welcome to January. There are a lot of energies moving through us, and so a lot of us are having an increased experience in our Ascension Symptoms. The Ascension Symptoms are basically anything that we experience as we move on into a higher experience, a higher frequency state. And so a lot of times we're talking about body symptoms, but it's also a spiritual, an awareness, and just a knowledge. So some of the most pressing and most obvious symptoms that's been happening and is happening right now is some really crazy dizziness, like the kind of dizziness where you can only see right here and the rest is black, and there's like, it's really intense kind of dizziness that's happening. I had it for a very, very short time. The others reporting the same thing occurring for them. Know that it's a temporary experience that'll move through you. Also, some weird stuff with my shoulders and my arms as well as my legs. Just they feel weird, they feel different. And knowing that I'm completely healthy, I felt into it and noticing there's a lot moving through. Not just accepting light in, but letting what does not serve us, what's not in harmony with where we are right now, which is a beautiful thing. And so there's this release occurring. Now, here's the trick about that I didn't actually kind of fully understand, is that consent needs to be fully given. And so we were kind of doing an in-between with this energy as this light is moving in. Some of it was hesitant. And so to open myself up to that light and acceptance and taking that, as well as saying goodbye to some of these other frequencies and this denser energy as we're letting it purge and release. And that has a lot to do with the next topic, is the purging experience that a lot of us are having. We're talking about all kinds of acne. We're talking about like bathroom trips, frequency and needing to go to the bathroom in every direction, in every way, noticing your body cleaning its your whole system out, just all kinds of weird stuff, weird boils and stuff. There's been a lot of reports and personal experience as well of just this purging that's happening. And so to allow this to occur, there is a need for increased water. We're drinking so much water. I still feel dehydrated, and I just drink so much water every day. Remember, please, that water's not the only thing that our body wants when we're thirsty as well. You know, like juices and teas and stuff like that really have a useful place in our diet and helping us to stay hydrated. So just to, you know, so noticing that continued need to take in more liquids, and all of that is helping this stuff purge out, as well as it's a better conductor of this plasma, this light, the love that's coming down, that God's presenting to us at this time. It moves through us more efficiently, with more ease, when we have a higher volume of water in our body. And so that's another thing that's occurring right now. Other things having to do with that, lots of release with tears. Those of us who have had a past with being conditioned that crying is something that's undesirable, a weak thing, or whatever, have found struggles in this initially. I am noticing another form of this release, of this purging, this release that's happening is laughing. That deep belly laugh that occurs, that's really helping so that energy can be released and move through. We're just letting this stuff go, guys. You know, you came here to transmute this stuff, not to take it on and say, this is mine now, haha. You know, and so we have to remember to do that. Taking it on feels like we're assisting others around us, and maybe it's in some other paradigm that was true. However, we're at this one now, and in this space, taking that on and holding it is actually causing everyone less harmony. And so let's release that, allow it to move through and to go. It doesn't want to be here either. The crying and joy thing, that weeping that's occurring out of, wow, people are so beautiful, and oh, love is such a cool experience. And I'm not talking like, romance love, this love that's moving in on like the frequency that we get to harmonize in now is a whole different experience. And that love, those moments of euphoria that you've been experiencing, they will increase and they will lengthen in time, meaning that you will have longer bouts of this euphoria with less with shorter breaks in between, rather. And that's been going on for a little bit and is continuing to accelerate. I know we always talk about diet. It just seems to be a really integral part of this experience that we're in. And that's shifting and changing for everyone in such a strange and obvious way that it feels alarming to a lot of us, especially initially at the very beginning of the experience. This is to reassure you that you're not alone, that many others like you are experiencing the same thing, whereas all of a sudden your body's showing symptoms and signs of having allergy to foods that you had in your diet for a long time, where the doctors are talking about it. Wow, there are so many more food allergies right now. And so that's something that just listen to your body. Your body's trying to tell you what it wants and what it doesn't. And as we're moving into this higher frequency space, what was okay and harmonized with us before isn't the same. We're harmonizing up here now. So there's some things, there's densities in some of the things that we used to consume that isn't the best for us in our experience. And so we're noticing that, as well as a shift in things that we're craving. There's a variety of foods that perhaps we haven't even tried before, and we're noticing our bodies asking for it. There's a lot of language coming from our bodies, and it has for a long time. Many of us have been conditioned to, instead of addressing what the body's telling us, and we would put a Band-Aid on that symptom. And that's, a temporary fix that's actually causing a deeper issue there. It's as if we're putting a Band-Aid on a festering wound and not cleaning it, not doing anything to it. That wound continues to be in dis-ease. The same thing has been occurring for us. So for instance, we have learned if you eat this, you take an antacid. And instead, it's our body telling us, don't eat that. It's our body saying, this is not good for us. There's something that's perhaps not even considered truly food to your body, and it's asking to stop. And all of those types of things. And so the same things are occurring right now, except now our body's starting to try to speak to us more clearly, becoming a louder voice. And so as you're having these body symptoms, it's asking us to look at those things. Okay? Each part of our body, every area of our body, all of our major organs, just every finger, everything has a direct relation to an emotion, a space, whether it be a specific emotion or the inability or maybe the lack of healthy healing through or addressing that emotional thing. And so that's what I found was a way to solve a lot of different things as it comes up. When I'm noticing a part of my body's in disharmony, it's bothering me. When instead of looking up what does WebMD say, I'm looking up what is that related to emotionally speaking, and it's always right on. This is the same kind of activity that a lot of individuals that I've talked to who had, fatal cancer and then are fine now, simply by changing diet and by addressing these issues, these things that we don't like to look at. And that is why we're in this space of this dark night of the soul collective experience. A lot of those of us who have had multiple dark nights of the soul already, it doesn't feel as deep. It's trigger moments. It's bursts of moments to experience these dark night experiences. Some people talk about the solution being inner child work, and that's the same thing as what's called shadow work. So those of you who are working through this experience, noticing all this stuff cropping up, that just, allow yourself to participate in some of these guided meditations that are available all over YouTube. guided meditations for shadow work. I have actually done one. I'm not sure if I posted it on YouTube or not. Those of you who aren't, by the way, a member, we have a Telegram group. It's free. It's just a bunch of people, like 140 something people, that are all on this journey together. And I started this along with this channel. And in this Telegram group, individuals can speak up and share notes and experiences and see if anyone else is going through it. What I find especially cool about this group is that it's global. There are people all over the planet that are a part of this Light Warriors experience. And so we connect, and in the middle of the night sometimes, if you need to connect to somebody else, there's typically somebody on. And also in that Telegram group is where I usually post the meditations that I do. I lead group meditations every Friday. At the end, I just started to do it every Friday. At the end of our group meeting, I take up the last little bit of time every Friday to lead a group meditation. And I've been posting these meditations, the rough cut, uncut and raw, on Telegram. So any of you who are interested, please look to that. And allow yourself to experience, be in this space that we're in. As we're having these things come through, remember, we've been conditioned throughout, not just this lifetime. That's a lot of conditioning piled on top of each other to ignore, to push away, to not experience. And instead of dumping out your cup so you can taste what tea tastes like, we still have coffee mixed in there, we have juice mixed in there, and you're having this glom of emotion of all experience at the same time, so no one gets to be addressed. It's being asked of us to be that child self. When I was a kiddo and I fell down, I would cry with my whole heart. It sucked and it hurt. But you know what? As soon as I got done crying, and usually it was brief, I was done. And I was off doing something fun and playing and being in the experience. I knew at that time how to dump my cup out. And so it's being asked of us to do that now. What's difficult is many of us have like this festering pile of drink. And so there's different things that we need to experience and let come up. Remember, it's not yours to keep. It's yours to release, right? And it wants to go. So as it's coming up, you don't have to change your identity. You don't need to add new labels to who you are. In fact, we're being asked to unlayer, to release ourselves of all of these labels, of all of these things that put us in box upon box. And instead, just be you. And who you are is the most brilliant light. That light, that experience of that light, is the purest form of love. That's what that is. And that's what that feels like. It's so beautiful and so amazing. That feeling, that you feel with the light against you, that's what love is. And that's who you are. Allow yourself to be that light. A light existing outside of a box. And each one of these experiences as they move through, acknowledge them simply for having been. Not that they need to be understood even. You were. You existed. You exist. And I thank you for your service. And now I release you with love. Send it out. Archangel Michael's message, to release without judgment, right? Acknowledge, release without judgment. And that is how this occurs. And when that happens, it can go. And to release that with love propels it. And then also fills the light of love completely within you. In those spaces that were occupied by debris, by unwanted, unneeded prisoners. As these things come through, know that you're okay, that you're safe. You're completely safe and protected and honored and appreciated for all of the work that you're doing. The pride I feel glowing from all of the energies around us is just such an amazing experience to participate in. Those of you who are feeling very isolated and alone, please know that you're welcome to reach out and be a part of our Zoom meetings as well. We meet every Tuesday and every Friday. Tuesdays, we meet at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on Fridays, we meet at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Each meeting lasts for 3 hours, though now starting this coming week, last 30 minutes or so of the Friday meeting will be a meditation. You don't have to have your camera on. You don't have to have your audio on. Just come and be a part of this experience. It will never be recorded or aired. Know that you're okay. Please don't give up. You got this. It feels really extra dense right now. I know, it's kind of funky. We're moving through it. It looks like layered, like as you're leaving the ocean and emerging, there's this film that we're moving, breaking through, emerging to the other side. The other side is full of light. It's full of love and that peace, that harmony, that beautiful air that tension and controversy just doesn't exist in. That's where we are. We're there. We just got to shake off the film as we're moving through and transmuting through it. I love you. Thank you so much for your service. I hope you're having a lovely journey. Aho blessings.